Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Dawn. How are you? Oh, just my screen, just make me taller. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You had a little go at your hair, didn't you?
On my left side, it was getting a bit long and it was just too long to there, so I had to have a little trim up.
Oh dear. All right, good. Oh, it looks, don't know what it looks like actually. Doesn't matter with you really, does it? Just let it go. Right, episode 57, Tuesday the 19th of May. Special day today.
Yes, it is. Happy birthday, Alexander. If you're listening to this, I don't know whether he does.
We might go with that first. It's my son Alexander's happy birthday. And he's 29 today, so we'll give him, I haven't a clue whether he bothers listening to us. He probably doesn't. He's another one who seems to use the phrase rattling on to me. Yeah.
Oh, never mind, darling. I'm not the only one.
Look at the bloke behind. Is that his competition? You see it a bit blurred.
No, he's the guy who's putting the pole back on when he knocks it off. Competition.
It's another one here. Bit sweeter. This is from a video. I wish he'd let me publish these videos that I used to do interviews with him. There's a couple of classics.
Oh. Yeah. No, at the end of the day, if he doesn't want them, he doesn't want to.
He was three years old then.
Yeah.
And I asked him how high he could count. And he went, 1, 2, 3. He goes.
It's funny what they do as children.
Oh, yeah, it's such a shame they grow up. He's 29 today. Awful.
I expect your mum said that about you. It's a shame you grew up. You were probably sweet when you were a little boy.
I don't know if I was as sweet as Alexander. He was really sweet. Lots of long curly hair. He was quite sweet with everybody. And he's still sweet now in his own way. I wonder if he watches this. I know one or two of his friends might.
I don't even know whether he's got a Facebook account, so I don't know. Pardon?
He's got a Facebook account.
Oh, yeah. I'll post happy birthday on there then. Yeah. All right then.
Music up. So I had a slight change of heart. The music yesterday, by the way, was the Proclaimers. I'm Gonna Be, well-known Scottish band. It's pretty much known as I'm Gonna Walk 500 Miles, really. Angie Crush got it off one note very quickly, which the link was with New Shoes by Paolo Nintini the day before. Not only the shoes and walking, but they're both Scottish, actually. Didn't think of that, but there you go. And the bar is being constantly raised. I just can't catch them out. It doesn't even go, what?
But I do think that you've got several people, so it just depends what sort of music you play, etc. Whether they pick up on it.
Second guess.
It's not easy anyway. Let's just get on with the music challenge, shall we?
I think significantly Angie might have taken the lead. I think she's on 7.5 points to Steve Fury's 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hotting up.
Hasn't Steve Fury gone back to work or something?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Hang on. Right. Okay. Here's the music. I've going a bit left field here. We'll have they got to work out how my brain works. Plus a lot of other things to get there.
When they do, can they let me know?
Right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Stop banging the table. Ready? Right, I'm determined to test them a bit today. Did you get that? You heard that?
Yeah, I got that. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Right. Bit of feedback. Mick Bannister or Michael Bannister, he confirmed the vest I was wearing in that 1500 metre start was his old. Well, it wasn't his particularly. I don't think I'd fit into it. Tunbridge Wells Tech vest, which was used for our district. We used to compete for our district back in the day.
There you go.
When athletics in schools was popular, masses did it, even in the local vicinity. Like a lot of sport, though, disappeared with playing fields being built on, and etc. We had a split decision in the Atkins household, rather like ourselves actually, over whether to leave somebody who's got a hangover and not up for the buses.
Well, tell me which one wanted what.
Well, you know, do you not know?
No, you didn't tell me.
We got Pat and Dave Adkin. Remember, 3 buses waiting to leave, 9:30.
Just tell us what they wanted to do.
Just reminding viewers, promptly the day after a party celebrating the National Cross Country Championships with the awards. Bang on 9:30, everyone's ready to leave apart from one person who's in bed with a hangover, holding everything up. Should the buses, he's over 18, should the buses leave or not? Dawn said no, they shouldn't leave. I said yes, as a team manager, they should leave, and I was over.
Ruled because I got off the bus. You had to leave me behind as well.
Well, Pat, doesn't matter what age they were, she would have waited, rather like yourself. And Dave,
I went and got him.
Dave would have made sure he had some money and then left without him.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It worried Grazia because she was worried about the knock-on effects, parents being involved, hassle for them, again, the money aspect. Hubert Bunce from Canada came in. Did he learn his lessons from it?
No, not really. We could honestly say that he didn't really learn too many lessons from that.
So we let him off. We waited for him, and he didn't.
No, I think education for that type of behaviour is very slow, and so I think now he's slightly more mature, and I don't think he would do it. But I mean, learning the lessons immediately, no, not really. Is the answer to that one.
Well, that leads on, and we've got loads of feedback points today, probably lowest for a while actually. So that gives us a bit of chance to talk about the aspects of team management. And yesterday, a video came through from Matthew Kiernan from Croydon Harriers, which was very amusing. He admits he's going a bit bonkers in lockdown, but he almost broke what I would see as almost the
fine line between management and athletes.
No, the unsaid rule for team managers, and athletes, as much as team managers are there and go through days and weeks of work and hassle, but are never allowed to complain about athletes, and I suspect in other sports as well. And Matthew broke that rule, and I'm quite pleased he did, because he did put out a 2.5 minute long video bringing up examples of all the hassles he has over the years, dealing with all ages of athlete. It made me think quite a lot about it. Team management. What's your views of team management been observing over the years? You've not actually managed a team, have you?
No, I'm not stupid enough.
Part of the support staff, haven't you?
I do my support stuff for you, but that's about it. You are the only person I would support, I must admit, because team management is pits. It is the pits as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather go and officiate for 6 days on a trot than go and team manage. That's how bad I feel it is, because you're dealing with unknowns, and we all complain about everything. I like my ducks lined up.
Don't bang the table. Don't bang the table.
I like my ducks lined up. And I can assure you, team management, it's nothing like having your ducks lined up at all. It's so unpredictable. I can remember you on the phone saying, your event's in half an hour, where are you? And the person is like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. I lost my mum. How far are we away? About 40 minutes. I'm about 40 minutes. In other words, you're going to miss your event. And you just think, really? And I don't know. And I don't think people appreciate the fact that when you team manage, you're there at the beginning and you're the last person. You're making sure everyone's getting home, etc. It is a job that I am just not prepared to take on.
No. Bit mad, really. So, I mean, overall, you wonder, because the attitude, I've got to be careful because, I mean, athletes are far above the level of the normal population in terms of their dedication and how nice they are and everything else. But they do slip from that pedestal occasionally.
Well, I can assure you, team management's no different to trying to organise a family get together, because the family says, "Oh well, I can't make that day. I can't make that day. Oh no, I've got these dietary requirements." And then when you tell them what time to arrive, they then arrive an hour later, and so you're thinking, "I don't know what the hell is the matter with you all." And it's the same thing with team management, isn't it? Really, let's be honest.
No,
So
we spoke about that aspect in one of the previous episodes, and I'm still got it in here. What Hubert from Canada said: if you're arriving late for something, you're basically saying your time's more valuable than the people that are waiting for you. And this comes back to the coach episode, because one of my great rules, as you know,
yeah.
I stipulate when the coach is going to leave, specify they're leaving. That's not when you arrive at the bus stop or anything. And we are leaving. And I've left people behind, plenty of. I left James Taylor back in Tunbridge when we were going to the south. I think it was the South of England champs on the minibus. He was 5 minutes late. He got left, even though he was helping us, because we were going to miss our parking spot near Parliament Hill. Cost him a little mini fortune getting the train subsequent, but he hasn't been late since. So,
I do think it is a big learning curve. People, I suppose it's more sort of like prevalent in the young people that I deal with. I'm not so worried about them being late for training or something like that, because they can just join in at that point, etc. So if they're 5 minutes late, it won't matter. But if you're leaving and you're trying to organise a trip, etc., and you know how tough it is, I've learnt now, for instance, if I ask you what time we're leaving, and then I am ready 15 minutes before the time you've given me, so that I'm not holding you up. Because you invariably change your mind and want to go 5 minutes or 10 minutes early. And that's annoying from my point of view, but I've now learned to deal with you in that way. So I do think you sort of like got to consider other people when you're trying on a trip, especially if they're giving you a lift, because, from that point of view, show some respect, try and get there a bit earlier, etc.
I think the bit that is very, very difficult to get your head round as an athlete or as a team member rather than the manager is that if you look at Matthew's video, there's so much going on in your head. You're having to check everybody's there. You're having to make sure they're allocated to the right events. They've got their numbers. They've got their pins. They know what time their event starts or race starts. And and then you're thinking, have I got such and such sorted out? Have I made that change on the team sheet? And the earlier you get there, when cross country, you're there, you're sorting out the tent and the chairs and the getting the numbers and everything else. Yeah. There's all this stuff going on.
And then someone comes along and says, I've lost, I've forgotten my vest. Now, I think the one thing athletes should be taught, even in training, is the key things that you need, get ready the night before and leave them on leave them on the floor near your bag or something, so that you can check them in the morning. And it's just a little discipline thing that could help in the future, because how many people forget their vests? So it's quite frequent, isn't it? And you think, what am I going to do next? Because you can't compete without a vest.
No. And I like to be somebody who's planned in advance, gets there nice time. You've got time to think about things, organise things. Once you're knocked off your train of thought by somebody doing something left field or odd, it just throws you and causes more stress and hassle, and you don't enjoy the day. And when somebody says, ask a question like, what time's the race start, when they're there or whatever, it's just, and there's a flipping great big notice with everything on or something like that. Your mind is on everything else, and that's the difficulty. So I think for think of the team managers, athletes, and God knows how rugby, football, and other sports manage, where you've got to have exactly the right people 11 or
Well,
15.
I think they're in the same dilemma as you are, etc. But I do think I think this comes down to making people think for themselves. So when somebody asks me a question, I usually, I don't reply with the answer. I like sort of like say, well, what do you think? What and make them think for it, make them work for the answer. But when you're team managing and on the day, etc., you've neither got the time or the patience to do that. So I do understand, but you put the timetables up in front so they can look at it, etc. But the point being is that a lot of people should be thinking for themselves. They should be organised. They should be, if you like you, thinking, what have I got to do today? Not just turning up, rocking up and doing the event and then going home, etc. They should be putting some thought into it, surely.
Yeah. Very difficult. Trouble is, I'm a bit of a stickler for rules.
There is that as well.
So, if you turn up at a hotel, you've got to have, well, even before that, you keep the bus tidy. I've got real bugbears of mine, messy buses, messy hotels, noise in hotel corridors, upsetting the other guests. It doesn't have to be.
It all comes down to consideration. It's consideration of others, and I don't think a lot of people are taught that today. I mean, my mum used to there used to be sometimes 4 or 5 of us walking along the road, etc., and she'd make us all go single file and move out of people's way, etc. And that was distilled in me from a very young age. So I understood that there were other people that I needed to consider. So it is that how you're brought up, etc. How people have to explain that you should move to the side, etc.
I'll give you an example. When we are guests of Tunbridge School on their fields quite regularly for training each summer, and there's often boys playing cricket beforehand, and there are groundsmen that tidy up a lot of this sports equipment and put it away. But sometimes, and it's a bit like our guys on the bus, if they're spreading crisp packets, empty bottles and cans and everything all along the floor, thinking, oh, well, there's a bus driver to tidy it up afterwards. I think, and same with these cricketers, just spreading everything and just leaving it. I think first of all, it's the teacher or the team manager's responsibility to get them to be accountable to themselves and pick it up. Same with, at the end of the day, when we leave a site, last job is make sure everything's clean and tidy. It's not the staff at the track or the park to pick up all the rubbish, but plenty of clubs do leave all their rubbish everywhere, and that should be in the forefront of people's minds. I get quite agitated by it all.
Again, I think it's about your upbringing, etc. I mean, I can remember being at Tunbridge School when they were building the centre, and we were using the cricket pavilion, weren't we? And they had a cricket tea before we were due to train, and I was waiting outside, and people were leaving cups of tea all over the place, etc. And I started picking up these cups, thinking there's no way that I would just leave my cup on a bench so nobody could sit down, etc. And so and the groundsman came up to me. He said, "Oh, please don't do that." He said, "because it's our job." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you doing our job." He said, I said, "But surely people should put their teacup back in the pavilion, etc." He says, "Oh no, they don't do that." And he found it quite sort of normal that they would leave it on the bench, after they finished their cup of tea. And I just don't understand that. I mean, I think about all the things that my mum would have to do. Like, she'd have to go outside, pick it up, take it back, wash it up. I mean, I'm just thinking, save time, for God's sake.
And that's why we're in the state we're in, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, to some degree.
Had a good old rattle on moan there, haven't we? Cheer everybody up.
Well, I suppose it's like everything else. I mean, what annoys you most? Like, I mean, I go outside the front gate and there's loads of rubbish all over the place. And normally, in normal circumstances, I pick it all up. But because of there's, I have to come back, get a bag, and then pick it all up so that I'm not touching the rubbish. It's so annoying because it doesn't take 10 seconds for them to take it home. They've actually gone out for a walk, had a packet of crisps and just, or a Mars bar, and just thrown it, you know, dropped it where it is. I mean, I just don't understand people. Sorry.
So we might as well now, after I've gone through that a bit unrehearsed, but we might as well ask people what really annoys them.
Yes. Oh, shit.
That's Bill messaging you again.
Yeah, but no, it's not. It's someone else today.
Just so it's not really Bill. It was a Bill yesterday.
I'll see you later. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.
Everyone, don't we haven't got you down too much.